had to talk with the line. And yes, most definitely, we got into the discussion about XRP and Ripple. And I even told them when we were having this conversation, I said, I wish this conversation was being recorded and uploaded on YouTube so everybody can hear the whole discussion, because there was a lot of great points made on both sides. Okay, but before I get into the discussion that I had with the line in regards to Ripple, the disagreement that we still have with Ripple, I want to apologize to everyone how I came off in saying, sayonara Ripple, Ripple's dead, Ripple's done. I can see how that can trigger some people to get really upset, and I do apologize for saying it that way. I just saw like the writings on the wall, but I do apologize. Now, the discussion I had with the lion about Ripple. All right, so I basically heard him out. I listened, and he was telling me there's a lot of news, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of this and that, and a lot of it was great points. Okay, so then I came back to him and I said, listen, first things first. All right, this is the first thing I wanted for him to understand my point. I said, we're talking about Ripple sitting around 31, 32, fluctuating back and forth around there, 32 cents. All right, you're talking about a Ripple being priced at 5,000. All right, you're talking about a Ripple XRP being priced at 5,000. All right, and he was listening to me. And I said, listen, we both know that from 30 cents to 5,000. And I said it like this. I promise you, I said it like this. I go, and I've been saying it to a lot of people. Let's say this black swan event on steroids. And let me just add this, though. I don't even think that's well enough, but that's the way I said it. Let's say this black swan event on steroids, mixed with some sort of concoction of alien Leviathan super juice black swan event happens, that Ripple from 32 cents or 31 cents goes all the way to 5,000. All right, for whatever reason that happens, it's going to be irrelevant to most of the people that are invested right now, because I can guarantee you this, that no one will hold to the 5,000, to the 1,000, to the $100, to the $75, to the $50, to the $40, to the $30, to the $20, to the $15, to the $10. They will get out before it hits double digits. If you're in right now at 30 cents, you will not even hold to double digits. Okay? I can guarantee you that. Why? Because markets move in cycles, booms and busts. All right, so there's going to be new buyers, new sellers, and for whatever reason, you get out at $2 or $3, and then it comes back down, and then you get back in, and it goes to $3, and then so you're thinking that you're going to get this great, grand return on investment, the biggest thing anyone's ever seen. It's going to be so epic. We're going to be the rich. You're out of your mind, all right? And again, let me slow down there, because I could get out of line the way I talk. Now, forgive me, because let me retrace that. Let me retract that, okay? But that's just not clearly thinking things out, all right? That's seeing it as a child, okay? See this as an investor, all right? Remember, nothing goes up and up and up and up and up. Okay, so now I have to address this, because most of the people that I've been speaking to, all right, and have come at me, and the only reason why I'm still addressing this, and I did apologize, and I do apologize, is that people think that they're going to go from 30 cents to $5,000, and they're going to enjoy this great, epic return on investment that no one has ever seen. They're going to do it. It's listen to me, okay? It's okay to have some people that say no to you, all right? You just can't be around yes men all the time. Yes, 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 yes. You need someone to check you and tell you, listen, you're right now, you're out of it, okay? You're out of it. You're a little bit cuckoo right now. You're not understanding how this works, right? There's going to be times where the market just stalls and goes the other way. All right. It's called corrections. There needs to be price corrections. And during those times, people take profits. This is not a charity case, right? We're not in this for charity. We're all in this, most of us. And if you're not lying, I would say 98% of us are in this for the return on investment, right? Yes, we want the technology. We want to separate from this or that, the governments. Yeah, that's all beautiful. But when it comes down to it, we all want to see that great return on investment as well. Okay, let's not lie. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, with that being said, I believe I made my point there. Second thing, so then the line tells me the source through his connections of what he's telling me, that why, he responded that, these tokens are spoken for. That 2 billion is on the retailer side, but the other tokens are spoken for institutionally. So then I go, wow, that's amazing, and I'm not being successful. I go, okay, wow, that's amazing. Now, if your source, this is what I start telling people, okay? Listen to me. A lot of people have a lot of BS, right? Just a lot of plain BS. So I told the line, I go, if this source can tell you that those tokens are spoken for, okay? And he's not speaking to I understand you got to be cryptic sometimes. Most of the times when you're speaking to a large group of people because you don't want to give your sources away, I do that a lot because I speak to crypto projects and they tell me something. I'm not going to say so-and-so said this or so because you're going to know where it came from. There's only so many areas that could come from. Okay, so this source was speaking to him. And he knows this source, right? So they have a good mutual relationship. He has no problem to disclose all the information. But, so I said, listen to me, Lion. If this source can tell you that these coins are spoken for, right? Then he can tell you by whom these coins are spoken for. So then there's where the whole, not in the line, but in the source, in the connection, this is where the holes start adding up. Because I'll find the holes. You understand? I'll find the holes, and then once that's it, I understand that there's some BS here. All right. Again, not towards the lion, but towards his source or sources. So he starts telling me, well, the source says, you remember what the Rothschilds did in, when they started, getting rid of their art? And I go, yeah, I remember that. Are you telling me that he's telling you that the Rothschilds? Well, he's not saying that the Rothschilds, and then that's where I go, listen, Lion, this is where I call BS. Not on you, but on your source. And he goes, yeah, but he's got really good information about this, and he's got really good, and it's not just one source, it's multiple. I go, whatever, it could be 1 million people saying the same thing. But if they're going to tell you that these coins and tokens are spoken for, then they have the ability to tell you by whom they're spoken for, right? He was getting, not the line, but his source was getting, because the line says, yeah, I asked him the same questions. And when the lion asked him the questions, the source or sources to the lion were giving him really strange answers, like kind of beating around the bush and dancing around it. That's where I say, listen, there's a lot of BS there. All right, so there was a lot in this discussion, all right, and there's some things that I did agree. I even told the lion, now listen, Ripple and JP Morgan could be playing this little movie script where they act like enemies, but they're really in the same group. But again, this is what I told the line. I go, for me, and especially dealing in options, when I get into a trade, I don't like getting anything above a delta 10, all right? A delta 10 is really, really risky, unless I see great returns on my investments that I could put a little bit of money down that I'm willing to lose. But when we're talking about Ripple, okay, on a return on investment, I see it as, I could see Ripple at $1. I could see Ripple at 2, 3, 4, 5. I could see Ripple there. But I just see, for me, in regards to cryptocurrencies, other investments that right now I would want to target before I target Ripple. All right. And not to say that Ripple is not going to pump and be successful. That's why I have to retract in what I said, that Ripple was done, Ripple was dead, sayonara Ripple. I was just speaking long term in the facts, in regards, towards the banks, because also what I mentioned to the line is that Ripple's customers are now turning into their competition. And I told the line, for me, that's a recipe in the long term, to not be successful when your customers start becoming your competition. And I told them, listen, Ripple does not have the secret sauce. And the line says, what do you mean the secret sauce? Kind of laughing. I go, listen, they don't have this secret recipe that they're the only ones that can do it. I told them the banks will do what the banks will do with their own money, and whatever needs to be tweaked will be tweaked using blockchain, okay? We both agree that Swift is done. Swift needs to make deals. They're dinosaurs. They're outdated. But the banks will use the money. They don't need Ripple anymore, right? They have the solution. And if they don't have the solution like Ripple has it right now, all right, believe me, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year from now, they'll have that solution where they don't need Ripple. So my saying, or what I'm thinking, or what I believe, long term, Ripple's in trouble. Okay, but not to say that Ripple won't be successful in different areas, but there's just a lot of coins in circulation. A lot of those coins are owned by Ripple themselves. So when I was talking to the economist from Harvard, who came at me a lot of ways, and listen to me, very civil, and that's why I engaged in the conversation back and forth we had on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure he's listening. He or she, I don't even know if it's a he or she, whether he or she is listening, understands that we had a good back and forth. But until I started poking holes at the mathematics, I go, listen, there's only one problem to your mathematics here. And he or she responded and saying, how? I go, you're missing one variable to your equation. And I go, you're selling. You're thinking this is going to go, yeah, it's mathematically possible the way you put it structurally, that it could go from 30 to 5,000, but that's just not the way markets move. They go up and down, booms and busts, cycles, right? It's all in cycles. You're not, adding to the selling pressure to your equation. And that's where we've kind of left it off there and hasn't responded. And I think, he or she understands my point that it's kind of ridiculous. It's possible, but it's kind of ridiculous for us to be speaking about a 30-cent Ripple and a 5,000. Then he brought it all the way down from 5,000 to $50. But even there, I told him again, just the way, like I said to the lion, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, 500, 200, 100 Ripple, dollar Ripple, $75 Ripple, $50 Ripple, $25 Ripple, $15, $10 Ripple. Those who are holding right now at 30 cents will not hold when it gets, because first of all, it won't get there. It won't get there all in one shot. It won't go from 30 cents. It won't get there. There's going to be booms. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure. All right. And when that happens, a lot of people, if they're not going to sell all of their funds, all of their holdings, they will sell a good amount. All right. Because you're going to take profit. That's just naturally. And I'm going to close with this. And I mentioned this to the line, just touching the same topic. And I'll probably add more to this because it was a really good discussion, and I wish it went on for about an hour and a half, I believe, or an hour and 20 minutes. And I said, listen, when I was holding Ontology from $1.74, and I said it was going to go to $10, right? I said this. It was going to go to $10, and I knew this. This is the perfect analogy. But there's 2% of me, 3%, 4% that doubted it, right? Because things can change in an instant. So when it was at $4, what do you think I did? I sold the percentage. $5, sold another percentage. By $6, I'm already out. All right? from $1.70 something to $6, I'm already out. And it went, if it didn't go to $10, I know it went to like $9.83, or I know it touched $10 in some exchange. Even though I called it, the person that called it, I got out way before it got to $10, right? So that's what I'm trying to let everybody know. Even for whatever reason, this black swan event on steroids mixed with, the concoction of alien juice and Leviathan put all together event happens that Ripple goes from 30 cents to 5,000. It's not going to be relevant to anyone holding right now, because believe me, you will be getting out. And because markets just don't go up and 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 up. And oh my gosh, Ripple, we're at 5,000. Does not happen that way, guys. Does not happen. All right. So again, I hope you accept my apology. I hope you can accept a different point of view. If you can't, I'm still apologizing. And I was wrong for saying it like this, and I will admit, saying that Ripple was dead and done, because that's not correct as well. And the way I said it, because I was speaking more in the long term, and that JP Morgan is the first one, but banks are going to start doing their own coins, and they're going to start moving their own money within each other. And to the argument, some people have said that this will be a Bitcoin killer. No, it will not. The banks will do whatever they want to do with their money. Okay, but there's other in financial services and, our money and what we want to do. So I said this. I said to the other individuals that were, kind of concerned about Bitcoin, I said at the very least, Bitcoin will be a global hedge. But Ripple, this is in direct competition with Ripple, the banks. And this is what, again, and I'll close with this, Ripple's customers are now their competition. So for me as an investor, I start seeing at all these ifs and whats and ifs, and it's like, I don't want to get involved in this right now. I'll still, listen to me, I'll still purchase Ripple, but I'm not super excited, and all the hype about Ripple is not there for me. That's all I'm trying to say. I would look at low market caps. And you know what? Let me close here, because I'm trying to give information as much as possible. Remember last, that big bull run, you saw all these low market caps, and you're like, man, if I would have just thrown $100 at this, wow, my goodness, I was just so focused on these big ones. But if I would have just thrown a little couple $100 here, $300 here, oh my goodness. And I remember that. So again, part of being wise is learning. And I won't say that's from mistakes. It's just learning from history. And what do we know? History might not repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. All right. So we know what may happen. All right. Good possibilities. To me, I would say, listen to me. All right, and this is the perfect way to close. I would say that there is a greater chance that the low market caps will bring you greater returns on your investment than Ripple will for those of you who are expecting 30 cents, 5,000 and cashing out at 5,000 and thinking, yeah, wow, we are super rich. I strongly suggest that you should think clearly. I understand when we get passionate, it clouds our common sense, our judgment, but really understand, again, that nothing goes up and up and up and up. And to really, here's a little information, a tip, look at some low market caps, because everything will go up for the most part, all right? Okay, this is not financial advice, but mostly everything will go up. If they're still alive, will go up in the next bull run. And then you're going to see some great returns on your investment. You're going to be like, wow, my $100 went and did what? Okay, so that's all I'm saying, all right? And some of the... okay, I can't get into that. All right, let me just close. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a blessed day. I hope you understand my point of view, and maybe I'll touch on more of the discussion I had with Line. I went way too long here. All right, guys, be blessed. Have a good one.
Let's go. Things are about to change. Open